Speaking of being in a good place, Tua, great place.
Yep.
Going to be back on a football field.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently Tua Tagovailoa has been cleared to play football against the Cardinals this weekend. Obviously, he was put on IR, so it was a 4-week hiatus. They had a bye in there. They had a loss to the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis during that amount of time. There's a lot of speculation on what the future looks like for Tua Tagovailoa, his family, what he should do, how he should do it. I guess over the past few weeks, he's been meeting with a lot of different neurologists and doctors all the way up in Pittsburgh. Obviously, if you remember Dr. Will Smith in a concussion movie that kind of heralded from Pittsburgh because of the doctors and the science and everything that has happened with the brain there, let alone the Miami Dolphins doctor for final clearance, I guess, is happening this week or whatever the case is. And Tua did a full press conference just kind of embracing the fact that there's going to be people that probably disagree a little bit. Then he was even asked about a Guardian cap, and here's his response.
Will you wear a Guardian cap?
Nope.
Why?
Personal choice.
He also said in there that he loves football till death, brother.
That's right,
And anytime you say that, obviously people are like, that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. But from the very beginning, obviously we don't like seeing Tua in prime time lose his consciousness. And the way his body locks up is incredibly scary. I've had a couple friends that have ended up that way. Just saw one of my friends actually that ended up that way in Austin Collie, who's doing very well right now, but had some situations concussion-wise. It's like in prime time scares a lot of people. But the immediate response from everybody was like, yeah, Tua shouldn't play anymore because I wouldn't play anymore. Tua shouldn't play because I wouldn't. Looking back on it, if I was Tua, I wouldn't play. Like the idea. In the entirety of it all, this was going to be a Tua and a doctor either clearing him or not clearing him situation because Tua is clearly a football guy. And that's why the Guardian cap answer was so quickly a nope, because he's like, what do you want me to do, put a target now on? Like, you want me to just say, like, yeah, this is it? So the way Tua views this and has viewed this the entire time, I think is vastly different than how it's been covered by a lot of people on the Today Show, the national news. They read it as controversial return. And I guess there is controversy because anytime there's a primetime concussion, it causes a lot of conversation, especially if it's about a quarterback. But like, I think Tua probably says the only controversy was whether or not a doctor was going to clear me.
Yeah.
If a doctor was going to clear me to play football and make hundreds of millions of dollars and do the thing that I love, I was going to do that. So interesting the way the conversation's around it. I think none of us want to see Tua get hurt again. But I think from an actual reality standpoint, Tua was playing football if a doctor was going to give him clearance from the beginning, I think, AJ.
No question. And I respect the fact that Tua stood up there and gave his answers. He didn't feel like he had to sit there and explain himself over-explain. He said, nope, personal choice. That's it. Like, yeah, okay, we get it. Like, you don't have to sit and go into this whole spiel of what you think you should say. Like, I love it. I love what he's doing.
I like his tats look really cool, too.
So
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Thank God.
I mean, it's going to be scary watching him, obviously. Like, people... For like, yeah, I mean, you're worried about everybody, but like especially a guy like that you've seen in prime time have things like that happen.
Bated breath, obviously, with every play, just like when Alex Smith went back out there, and then Aaron Donald was a backpack on him. I mean, that was legit. Like, but every single play, and Ty, you brought that up earlier when I was like, so Tua's just like we all thought, like Tua's going to play football again if a doctor lets him play. I think the thing is, if he does get another, oh my God, that's the big worry.
It won't be good, but like everyone who plays in the NFL understands the inherent risk. And in a situation like this, like you think the NFL wants something catastrophic to happen to him on the field? Like, absolutely not. So if a doctor did clear him, like, I don't think it's one of those things where you see in like some of these movies where like it's like a shady doctor and they have ulterior motives. Like, if he wasn't okay to return, like, he wouldn't be coming back. Ultimately, it's his decision, but the doctors have looked at everything, and we did hear, like, the day after he had the concussion, he wasn't having any symptoms. So, like, yeah, he's had several of these.
Which throws me off a lot.
A little bit. A little bit, exactly.
Because I saw him.
And that could be kind of tongue-in-cheek, you know? Like, I mean, you know, people respond to concussions differently. Maybe this one wasn't as bad as some of the previous ones, but, like, there is a chance he gets another concussion. Like, it's football. He plays quarterback.
Pretty high chance.
He's going to get hit. So it's kind of just one of those things. But at the end of the day, it's his decision. And the doctors think he's okay enough to go out there and be in the line of fire, and that's what he wants. So it is what it is.
As a person that watched that offense on the field, I didn't want to say do their thing, but just on a field in front of me, and then you see Tyreek come in, and you just don't really. And then you got
cardio.
Really nothing happening anywhere.
Waddle.
It's like, how good was Tua?
Yeah.
I think that
legit.
And they said that on the national news this morning, so I appreciate them. They're like, he was the number one passer in the NFL last year. And it was like, yeah, like we're talking about so you just want him to retire. This guy is at the top of the game, just got paid, and a doctor's clearing him. A lot of people are saying he shouldn't go back, he shouldn't go back. I don't know if that was ever the case. And if Tua hops back in there, does Miami have a chance to go to run at this? And then if he gets hurt again, what's the reaction? If another concussion happens, what's the reaction?
I mean, the human part of it, obviously, you can see why people would be concerned for his health. But to a football player, you got to make your own choice. And this is just kind of how we're wired. We know plenty of people post-football, kind of fucked up. And if you ask them, hey, would you do it again? 98% of us would. That's just the nature of the game. So he's got to go out there and play, and that's the only mindset you can have if you touch that. You can't go out there scared. Like, hey, part of it is getting injured. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But he's going to go out like DeMar Hamlin died on the field and then came back and he's playing football again. Like, that's just that's
and very proud of
it. Yeah, he's starting. He's playing some of his best football. So, I mean, we expected Tua to be back in this position. Obviously, we want the best for him and his family going forward, and that's on him, on that man to make his own choice. And I'm glad that he's made it. He's healthy, and obviously, as a Dolphin fan, I'm looking forward to him out there spinning again.
He's so good. Mm-hmm. I think again, Gumpy, you said this in the first hour, I believe, or maybe yesterday. I forget when you said it. You're like, to all the people that maybe didn't think Tua was as good as he is, look at the Dolphins without him. And then whenever he drops back in this weekend, I assume it's going to be without a hitch, off and running again, Gump.
Legitimately holding the franchise together. Because we saw what happened when he didn't play. Like, McDaniel can't dial it up with anybody else, clearly. Like, it was dog shit the whole time. Never did anything.
We're the worst moments.
They were the worst scoring team in the NFL after being the best offense all last year.
So you get dropped back in, have a massive game one, you think, or what's it take?
I think they're still going to try and pound the rock because they've been running the ball well. I think it is going to be I don't think it's going to be like take off right away. I think it's going to take a game or two, but I like our chances against the Cardinals. They have been running the ball well, and like I said, the defense has played well.
Got the Cardinals, then you're at Buffalo, at Los Angeles. Will they have Cooper Kupp then or not? Ooh. Then Vegas, New England, at Green Bay, Jets, Houston, San Fran, Cleveland, Jets. Obviously, every single game in the NFL is going to be difficult, except for maybe against the Panthers. Did you get it?
What?
The Panthers is only
they're bad.
They're a bad football team.
You think they have a chance to turn around this year? I don't know why.
A lot of football there.
A lot of games. What's their future? What's it look like? Like, what's the next 2 or 3 years look like?
Them diamond rings and football teams torn this boy apart. He's talking about the Panthers.
They're going to draft Quinn Ewers. And he's just going to make everything okay.
I think so.
Not!
What?
I tell you what, they better hope that fucking Tom Brady reincarnated, cloned, is coming out of the draft.
How many of them? I mean, they need like 4 or 5 of them.
8. You're right. They should trade for the first 15 picks in the draft next year.